11.2c homework. Solve the equation by using the square root property. Simplify all radicals. This is actually a fraction. So to undo the square root, we're going to take a square root of both sides. Again, this notation isn't technically correct because that only includes the positive square roots, but I'm going to use it just to kind of illustrate what it is I'm doing. This will give you plus or minus the square root of 2564. So to make up for the fact that normally this only includes the positive, I'm going to put positive and negative there. So we actually have both. Okay. So let's split this up. What's the square root of 25? Well, square root of 25 is 5 because 5 times 5 is 25. What's the square root of 64? Square root of 64 is 8 because 8 times 8 is 64. So what happens is this must be plus or minus 5 eighths, right? We would normally break this apart and put it in my math lab. You would put that. So it'd be something like that. But my math lab gives these little squiggles for you, so you don't usually have to write them in yourself. It's called set notation. You don't need to know that, though. Solve the following equation using the square root property. Express radicals in simplified form. Now, I'm going to solve for the x squared first, which means I need to undo the subtraction of 100 by adding 100. Let's cancel out, leaving me x squared is equal to 100. Then I will take a square root of both sides, and that will give me x is equal to plus or minus 10. So minus 10, positive 10, something like that. Okay, the next one. Again, we want to simplify. So we want to get the x squared by itself, minus 256, minus 256. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. We undo the addition of 256 to x squared. It gives me x squared is equal to negative 256. Now, some of you are already ahead of me on this, and you already realized that you can't take x squared cannot be equal to a negative 256 if it's a real number. And if that occurred to you, you are correct. That cannot happen. So you could put plus or minus the square root of 256. Sorry, negative 256. That's important. But that can't happen. You can't take the square root of a negative because nothing multiplied by itself is going to give you a negative. So a negative times a negative is a positive, and a positive times a positive is still a positive. So this can't happen. You can't take a square root of that. So this is not a real number. Now there's imaginary numbers or complex numbers that could be answers to this, but we're not going to go there right now.